time we make for ourselves to meet. I'm really looking forward, every day. Like I'm like, oh, when is it gonna come? Today is 4:30. It's 4:30 my time. It's like half an hour later. Damn sad. Okay. Wait an hour. What's another half an hour? So yeah, I'm always very impatient. I'm like sending messages to Eric. Hey, bro, I'm in the office. Come in.
I can't
So
wait,
what's
Elaine.
yeah?
Elaine, you should join us in Portugal next at the end of the month if you can.
Oh, this month? Wow, that's really short notice.
We're gonna be there. If you can join, it'd be amazing. It's camping, but it's gonna be fun. In the
Oh,
mountains.
wow. Okay. Maybe not so short notice because I have
Why not?
things.
You know what I mean? That's what the adventure is about. That's what it's all about.
Yeah, but next time. Not like in 1 week, man. It's like
It's May 31st, so 2 weeks.
oh, jeez. Okay. Yeah.
So
So
looking
what's up
forward, Eric.
lately?
I'm just about and this, but I'm looking forward to camp together with Eric. We have been to many experiences um, together, but never camped,
Oh,
which is cool. Be in nature and just like live in nature with what we have. Yeah,
right. So
I'm looking
the
forward.
two of you, or is there a group of people?
It's gonna be, I don't know, maybe 60 people, maybe 80, something
Wow,
there.
that's a huge group. Okay.
Yeah.
Mm.
But we're meeting in the land where I stay, and we're gonna celebrate memorial of the landowner. Literally, like it's called the Pink Fest. And she used to
Oh,
be a pink lady, and yeah. So now it's the beauty carry on, legacy
ah.
party.
Oh,
Mm.
okay. I'm in pink
Yeah,
today. So what's up
amazing.
lately? Have you guys been?
I've been honestly just fascinated. I just jumped off a call with an amazing person that is extremely involved in the environment of very close to Tony. She's just a really important person in that whole ecosystem, and she's such a guiding light for me, and she's been helping me understand like the process of how I want to be, because I really want to like partner up with my teacher. I want to be uh very close to him in a way that is not like business partners. I mean, in addition, it could be, but more about, hey, we're just hanging out as brothers. And I feel very seen by that whole depth of knowledge and that depth of community. And I am feeling and sensing like he spends a lot of time doing his own internal work, but he's always observing things. So I'm grateful because I feel like I'm just following my mission, and as a result, I'm being seen by um, a man that I really respect and admire, and uh, that my everything that I've envisioned for myself is coming to life slower and
Mm.
faster than I think, in a slow way, but faster than I think, and that I'm even capable of understanding.
Wow.
Um, so
That's
it's
awesome.
really, yeah, and I have to say, like uh the other day, Sagitas and I had a conversation, and he was just really grounding for me in terms of uh his focus on like wanting to figure things out with his wife, and I thought I really wanted to, go and spend time with, a person that I kind of was curious about. And I realized, hold on a second, I have something so much more important here at hand that I have to take responsibility for. And it was so beautiful. Because it helped me step into an even more responsible role. It helped me step into an even more grounded standard. Like, hold on, I gotta like take care of the family. I gotta take care of, my parents. I gotta take care of the community. I gotta take care of what we're doing here on a responsible role in a level of, this is not about just going out there and meeting a person that you like. This is about attracting a person that you absolutely love and adore. And you don't need to go out there and prove yourself to anybody. You need to stay grounded. You need to stay focused. You need to stay on purpose. And that person that you want to bring she is going to come to you because you are so devoted to something so great. And
Yeah.
it gave me such an anchor. It gave me such an anchor because as a result, like, I had a great meeting with Anandagiri last night, this morning with, this partner. But like Anandagiri, he was one of the great monks that spend a lot of time with Tony in India and Sage at their house. And him and I are like talking like this all the time, and people wish that they could have conversations with him like I do at the depth that we do, with the levelness that we do. And he just jumps on a call with me like we are right now, just, hey, let's talk, which is not normal for most people. And for me, that's another Friday afternoon, So I need to realize these types of gratitudes and these types of responsibilities that I haven't in the past. And this has been the magic that has been happening around me um, in a
And
really
how did that
meaning.
happen?
How
How
did
did it
how did
happen? He just showed up, like, and called you?
well, no, I mean, when I went to India, I built a relationship with him, but we've stayed in contact, is what I mean. So like things
Oh,
like this, like the people that I've built relationships with, I've been able to cultivate and keep. But like what I'm seeing is that people are really resonating with the responsibilities that I'm taking on.
mm,
And because of those responsibilities that I'm taking on, I'm attracting really meaningful people into my life.
that's awesome.
And so that's been a really huge week for me because of the layering and yeah, and things have been moving, progressing quite profoundly. So Sagitas, I just really want to also thank you for that ability to help me see that without even needing to. You didn't do anything, you were just being yourself. But like, I mean, you did a lot by being yourself, but you know what I mean. It's like
But this is, yeah, brother, like it's so inspiring for some reason to hear, because I did not process my stepping into those responsibilities the way you took it. And that, like, now I can see more clear what I'm doing when you're reflecting back. And yeah, I feel very touched and humbled. Thank you so much for sharing.
mirrors, brother, and this is the gift of life, is being able to play these bigger games by being able to see that in the bigness of our mirrors. And so, yeah. And Elaine, how about you? How's things for you? How,
Oh,
we haven't
my
chatted for a week, so I'm
my
really excited to hear some updates and hear what things are going on for you.
my physical trainer, he he incorporated Bitcoin in his business
Nice.
because I kicked his ass. Yeah. Oh, and
Oh,
then
because of you.
yeah, because I
Cool.
keep talking to him about Bitcoin every single time, like, and then and then one day he's like, "Oh, look, you can pay me by Bitcoin now." And what's really crazy is I'm going to Monday morning. There's a Bitcoin coffee gathering, like the local Vancouver community. These are only Bitcoiners, right?
Yep.
And then so it's like a bunch of people, like 10, 15 people. And then this guy like next to me, suddenly he was like, "Oh, Reggie of Rise Fitness." Like, wait, like Reggie's my trainer. And he's like, "Oh, I help him with the Bitcoin, you know." So I was like how on earth like we just kind of met like sitting right next to each other and he's the person who's helping the marketing company to help him implement the Bitcoin thing. Isn't that crazy?
You see, then
That is
maybe
amazing.
yeah, maybe for some people it needs, you know, to come from two places, you know, the information knocking the doors. Like, hey, you know, and
You
then it
know,
comes from
like
another. Okay.
it's the synchronicity is so crazy. You know? Yeah, I'm seeing that guy again next Thursday. There's a gathering. So yeah, and he's a programmer, so we'll see. Yeah, I'm just getting more connected to the local Bitcoin community. And yeah. There are already, I think, 40 spots, stores and retail that people can pay Bitcoin with. And of course some of them are using Bitcoin Lightning wallets.
Mm.
Yeah. But and also I created a mini group, but this is for people like from my culture, Hong Kong people. Um and I did a webinar last like 2 days ago. Yeah. To
Nice.
explain to them about Bitcoin. Of course they still keep asking the questions of like, oh, you know, how much, what's the percentage I should put in Bitcoin? And I keep telling them you need to understand the why first, right? Yeah. Um, but yeah, I think people are getting more interested. It's just that the how is where sometimes they get stuck, right?
Yeah. I really love the adjustment you made on our chief Bitcoin officer uh
You mean the
page.
blurb?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, I, I just, I mean, as I said, depends on who you want to target, right? If it's people who are already higher up, you know, in terms of integrity or spirituality, then we can speak that language. But if it's coming down to people who are just beginning, you know, it's like how Tony, when we first took his events, it was like for the mass public, and it wasn't until you get more and more into it that you realize it's something like more spiritual, right? Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's I mean, from my perspective, the approach is to really cultivate you know, people that want to have a meaningful responsibility in their life versus just preserving wealth. However, I do believe that preserving wealth is the paradigm shift that needs to happen right now. So that's where the shift actually happens is by attracting them to preserving wealth. And then as a result, they become or recognize their way more meaningful approach towards life. And so it's interesting. And I think that that's the way that is going to really help shift, you know, the next stages. And yeah, I'm grateful. I think that, you know, that's kind of where we can start to continue to evolve. I'm curious, Elaine, though, and maybe you can help in the process of kind of building out the corporate structure, not only in uh the the Bitcoin strategist kind of I would be curious, especially because you've done this a lot of times and you've already built a lot of businesses with different partners from different organizations. if you're open to sharing with us the way that you've structured kind of your business models or corporate structures, because we are trying to do that not only in the mining side, but also I think that applying that to the Bitcoin strategist and the way that we are manifesting it in the strategy side of things for the chief Bitcoin officer, I think that it would be really valuable for us to develop that and then go over that together and then illustrate that if you feel it's something that resonates or something that you want to share with, if you're open to it.
Sure. I'm wondering if with the model that we were discussing, I'm wondering if it's kind of similar to the CFO Center. Remember, do you remember I showed you that one, that site?
I do. I did, yeah.
Okay, let me just pull up because
Please.
it sounds like we're envisioning is not just 3-person, it's more a community, right? Okay. So I've hired somebody from Fractional CFO Center before to be my fractional CFO.
Yeah.
Okay. That guy has 40 years of experience in large corporations. But if I was gonna hire him full time, I'll be broke, right? So this model allows me to hire him for 2 days, a month or something like that. So it was affordable to me, and I get access to his brains. And if he doesn't know something, he has a bunch of people behind him that he can tap into who are all CFOs around the world. So that model sounds very interesting. And of course, all of us have kind of different angles to this, right? If we are a network of people who have different strengths, right? Like, let's say I'm more user experience and somebody's more tech angle in like understanding Bitcoin, or somebody's more business angle or marketing angle. Maybe we can form like a consortium like this, where it's like a bunch of people, right? But of course we need to QA or
vet them.
discuss who is allowed to come in or who is not qualified. Like we need to have some standards, right? So we don't have some bad eggs pulling everybody down or getting everybody else in trouble. And then so let's say if I have a client coming in to me, and like I myself, I can use my way to make them understand Bitcoin's value. But if I need more technical explanation, I can say, hey, Lau, can you come in to help me explain this? Or or vice versa. If somebody like, Eric, you did refer Pierre to me. Like if it's like a business like Pierre's, pay with Flash, and they need help with user experience, and you can refer. And maybe the model can be a referral model too, like because if you need a huge community, then it's not just a 3-person structure, right? It's about,
I love it.
you know what I'm saying? Yeah. So
I
that's
love it. So how would we structure that to be in benefit for everyone as the
maybe
founders?
first of all, okay, I'm just, this is just right on top of my head. I don't know if it's doable. First of all, we should pay each other in Bitcoin, right? Or receive, right? I mean, even if the client can only pay in cash, then I don't know, we turn into Bitcoin. Yeah. And I don't know, maybe I don't know if smart contract is even doable. Like we need a tech person here in this conversation. Like to write in the smart contract the rules of the games, I guess.
Okay.
And
So
would it be possible? Sorry, would it be possible to go it all the way? Then it's like to make it, to bring the value for value principle in that. Like if, like I don't know, like sorry, like I think you're talking about something else than I hear. I hear the opportunity here, I guess. I hear what you're showing now, the screen is CFO Center, right?
Mm-hmm.
So how about Bitcoin Center, where we have these kind of people with the Bitcoin abilities to share their knowledge and wisdom, you know, like to be, so you can
Oh,
go through the site.
let me explain to you
But I
how this
think
works. So when I first met somebody from CFO Center, he had a person meet me in person, listen to what my business is about, listen to my needs, and then he would go back and say, okay, I think this guy can best help you. This CFO can best help you. So he referred me to another person, right? So we kind of dated and see if we match, right? But he was pretty spot on to refer that person. Yeah.
Right.
And then afterwards it was like like 2 days, a month. Like basically we get on the call or come out to meet. Like I think we came out to meet first because it was in Hong Kong. And then it was like Zoom calls. So I basically just asked him questions, right? And then he doesn't do much execution work. Like for example, my bookkeeping, receipts, all that, like I still need a secretary to do that. But in terms of bigger picture stuff, he would advise on the you know, it's like a financial strategist almost. Yeah. And then it was like a monthly fee. A recurring monthly fee. Yeah.
Right. So if we go to that where we put all the stuff on Bitcoin strategist, that illustration that you created, because you created one, right? That had the CBO in the middle, and
Yeah.
yeah, that one. Yeah. So that essentially is what we're talking about here, is that model, right? Where anybody from as a CBO is able to then go and serve any client, right? So I guess my question is, in terms of the structure, the corporate structure of that middle, of that CBO, of us getting it started, that means that we as the founders, I would love to know what your perspective is how to set up that structure that you've done before with your other partners and the GP firms, and what you've done with that.
You mean the venture studio?
Yep.
Oh, okay. Well, right now, so you got to decide on the roles first, right? Like who does what, right? And there always needs to be somebody who's the biggest share, right? It like 50-50% doesn't really work because somebody has to call this, like be ultimately responsible. Yeah. So right now we have 3 partners. Yeah, the 4th one will not get on until a year later because she is getting her PR in Canada. Yeah.
So the 3 partners, how do you guys split it? The 3, 30, 30, 30, or you don't, so one person has more?
Yeah, one person has more. One person has more. And yeah, because my role is more in user experience and product market fit. Somebody else is more the business guy, and then another person is the tech guy. Yeah.
Yep.
So that's basically a structure, and according to the percentage, then we have the shares, right, of the company.
Right.
But I think how to structure it is best to talk to a lawyer, right? You know, and also there are tax issues, you know, things like that. I don't know how this works with Bitcoin either. Because we're in a transition phase, right?
Right. So I was thinking of there is so would you suggest doing like 40 30 30, or is that what you would suggest? 40 30 30 or 35?
I mean, depends on the group, right? Like, is Lao in the picture, or what do you have?
Yeah, of course. Of course.
So how many people are in the core group?
In the Bitcoin strategist here,
Yeah.
it would be the three of us. So you, me, and Lau. Sagitas
Okay.
is always in the picture. He's just behind the scenes.
Okay.
I'm okay, just hanging out.
Yeah. But
Okay.
what I mean is that he's not on paper. So it would be
Yeah,
you, me, and Lau.
yeah,
Uh, have you talked? Remember, I referred you to David, the
David,
lawyer, Ladia?
yes, I talked to him,
Yeah.
but
Did he have any?
I'm curious to know your perspective. I'm not worried about with the lawyers because I've talked to plenty of lawyers, and lawyers are
Okay.
they're telling me everything from the head, and that's great. I understand that. I want to know what your perspective
Oh,
is.
my
'Cause
perspective?
my
Actually,
perspective was doing it equal, three, a third, a third, a third, 33, 33, 33.
uh,
And then there's always three people and two people get to vote. So majority rules. So when there's two people that
yeah,
decide over the third person, then it's about having that validation and that curiosity, because then it's like nobody can have the overruling power. It always needs to be where it needs to be verified by a second
yeah,
person before the decisions are moving forward, and that keeps all of us in absolute level of integrity.
yeah. Um,
What do you think, Sigi?
remember, Eric, I told you that previously, I currently have 4 companies. So
Right.
I'm like, I have one
but
company,
but
just sorry.
yeah, so I'm not worried about, like, we don't need to do this now, but I want to understand,
Yeah,
because I can also apply this to what we're doing on the
sure.
on the mining side. So
Okay.
it's really me talking with you about this, but then I'm applying this to the mining side, because on the mining side we have also three people, but
Uh,
I would like to really structure it on a very efficient way. So we all have holding companies, right?
yeah,
And we want to put it into the main thing, which is King's Bowl. And
yeah.
King's Bowl is then going to also have the Bitcoin mining, but also recognize the capital. So I'm just trying to think ways that you've done it before and ways that we can apply it to this, and then ways we can apply it to that. Again, you don't need to,
Oh,
I mean,
you know what? Let
yeah.
me show you something. Maybe this will be useful. Let's see. Shares.
Because I've talked to so many lawyers and I have a really good understanding of but I'm also looking at what's best for everybody. A
Mm.
lawyer, is thinking inside of a box, or a lawyer is thinking only for what's benefit of one party. A lawyer is not paying attention to what's best for everybody. I'm looking at the observation of what's best for everybody that's involved. And from my experience, at least speaking with a lot of different lawyers, they're black and white. There's no area of grayness available for them.
You know what? It sounds like maybe it's worth studying how the DAOs work, decentralized autonomous organization, because this is a new paradigm, right? You know?
Yeah, but the
So,
thing is with the DAO, there still needs to be a merit. Like, what I don't like about the DAO is the lack of governance. So I do really, at least from what my experience, maybe I'm wrong, but maybe I need to study a bit more. But from what I've observed in the communities, is that there's a lot of miscommunication between people. And so this is where I think that it's important to have an
mm,
essential few founders that have, like you said, the roles. Like
okay.
I'm not gonna do a DAO for a mining operation where we're raising
Okay.
over 150
Then it has
million
to be
dollars.
the traditional structure. I mean I think the rule of thumb always is not to have deadlock. Like if you have 50-50, then you're at deadlock. You can't do anything, right? Like if you
That's
have
why
51-49, right? Or if it's amongst 3 person, then it needs to be 2 versus 1, right?
right, so there's no
But
deadlock there, which is why
yeah,
the three becomes a valuable asset of having three people in a partnership, because then there's a verification mechanism, which is why I think our historical energy acquires three as heart wisdom, because three becomes the
Trinity,
yeah, well, and that's why it creates verification,
right?
because the third person in a room is also the observer.
Mm-hmm. And also, like traditionally, I think this is like do you see my screen?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, so if you can have like the key people here and I think most importantly is to be in alignment or agreement of who does what. Like
Mhm.
who's responsible for what. Because when there's miscommunication or different expectations of each other's role, then people start questioning, well, why did you like you didn't do a lot of work and why are you getting this money, right? Then that's where things fall apart, right? So it have to be very, very clear about each other's roles and responsibilities, and the time and commitment put in, right?
Mhm.
Yeah, and there needs to be a shareholders agreement
Right.
of what each person is responsible for. Yeah, so this is a chart where you can like put in like a weight, or like, okay, so who's gonna do the pitch, who's gonna do the accounting, who's gonna do legal, who's gonna like just have a conversation, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah, Eric, I want to ask you more, like how do you feel now you've been interacting with a lot of counselors around? How do you feel about like what is it coming for you that now we talked about responsibilities and roles and like what do you see, where do you see yourself standing, how much energy you willing to put in, and like because Elaine is very spot on, we cannot expect from people to show up because they have only shares in a company. That's not how it works. Like I have shares in my ex former company, but I'm completely inactive. So it's more about I would say, how much are you willing to carry and claim that, because what and then like to uh 33 33 33.
no, bad idea.
I I don't know if it's a good, because like it's again like you want people to show up, you want people to, and if they want to have 33, then it says something, right? So I don't think you have to also like to know the answer. You're going to talk to Lau, you're going to talk to like who is the third person? Elaine?
Marek.
Marek. So you will talk to them, and like it's just again talk about responsibilities and feel about yourself more, where do you want to stand, because all those things come to some turbulence and stuff, and do you want to be the one who is going to be able to put the feet down and say no, 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 this is not okay. You invite more counselors, like into a room. Maybe it's not free anymore, so it's not about free who makes the decisions, but you have maybe 10 people fucking sitting in a room, and in all different age and different groups of, but like yeah, it's like somehow I feel like it's kind of has to come from you, like to feel like to think long term and to think, how do you want to live your life and how much you want to like portion it to this organization.
So my responsibility is to carry out the mission and the vision and to make it come to life. What I'm noticing is that a lot of people are passing off responsibility and saying, "Oh, can you do this, or can you do this, or can you do this?" Whereas I take the responsibility and say, "Okay, I'll figure it out. I'll make it happen. What do I need to do? What do I need to do? How can I make it move forward?" So my choice, and again, this isn't actually Lao or Marek, but what I've noticed that in the past is that a lot of people in the past have decided to pass things off. So with Lau and Marek, they've been really showing up. And I think that the responsibility is really felt by Lau more than with Marek. You know, and what we're here to do. So that's very evident for me. Because, you know, Lau is a Lau. I mean, you guys both know him. So, anyways, the point is that he also really values when I say something. He also like agrees with it a lot of the time, like you do, Sigitas. He's very much listening and he trusts in the choice. And so, I guess what I'm saying is that it's important for me to be able to captain the ship. To really be able to navigate the sails and navigate the waters, because I sense things that maybe some people are not aware of, and also having that sounding board of people that I also trust, so that they are able to, with proof, prove me wrong. Because the last thing I want is a yes person around me. I need thoughtful disagreement. I need people to tell me that, you know, I don't agree with you. I need people to say to me, "Hey, Eric, you know, like this might be a better way. Have you ever thought about this?" That's very important to me as well, because then it allows me to stand in my power and say, "Hold on a second, yes or no?" Or as you have seen multiple times, Sigitas, that, you know, I do that for myself based off of just shares. So, but challenging me is very important. It's very
So
important.
is that why you wanna like give 33 to others so you could be challenged?
Yeah, so that I can be challenged, and so that
You
I sorry, so that I
get
don't
to
have
get to be challenged, yeah.
I get to be challenged.
Well,
And
I think it's not the 33. It's depends on the person. I think there are two models here. Either it's a for-profit model, then there needs to be a financial incentive system, right? And everything needs to be written down on paper, exactly what roles, you know, and the vision and mission needs to be aligned. The other model is nonprofit, which I've also run nonprofits. Nonprofits are even harder to run than for-profits, because you need to motivate a bunch of people who don't have financial incentive, but it's a mission incentive, right? But also I think somebody needs to take the lead and be concrete about who does what and drive the ship. I mean, I think it's nice to think that everybody has equal equal shares and all that, but I personally think in reality it doesn't work, because
Yeah, I agree.
so what do you
I have a
guys,
same.
what can you guys tell me what you guys suggest then? What is the solution that you guys suggest in terms of the partnership with Lau and
I mean,
myself, for
what it
example?
comes to me now, like you like I would see you having the most, up to 80% of the shares, or 70, whatever you feel the number is there. because you can always, you know, like, I know your genuinity and I know your generosity, you know, you can always share your shares when the time comes, you know, without any letter of intent, without any promises. But you can see how people showing up, and you know, according to that, like, share, give more shares, if that's, if the shares makes any kind of incentive, you know, because the shares, it doesn't mean always that you're going to get anything in return. If it's not, if there is no profit, right? If there is no profit, then like you get 33% as an example of responsibilities, like literally.
Or you can
So
also say whoever brings in the customer or the client, you know, gets the most, right? You know,
whoever shows up the most, you know, like, and that, I think, is, it's very beautiful to not to talk about it, you know, but like be ready for this kind of moment to give more, if that's some kind of power, right, to the people.
I think there needs to be a way to measure, like, what do you mean by showing up? Is it just showing up on meetings? But meetings could be ineffective, right? You know, like, does it contribute to the business? Is it bringing in revenue? Like, if this is
For
not
me, that comes, when you ask this
non-profit.
question, it comes like, who's showing up more in spirit, which is mission, and brings knowledge, brings experience, networks, who, that's what I would say, showing up, like actually doing it for a greater purpose, not even for a company, not for showing up for each other, but like, you know, driving the world to the better place. That's what we do. Like, and that's unmeasurable. That's why I'm saying is it's a feeling. It's in the guts, you know.
Well,
And
it's
maybe,
hard to
maybe
do
if
that in a business sense, though, right?
I,
Because somebody
yeah,
can be
yeah, I
showing up all the
totally,
time, but not actually executing the work
yeah.
or bringing in the customer, right? Like, because if this were to be a business, there always needs to be a customer to bring in the revenue. Otherwise, it won't sustain,
Mhm. Yeah.
right? I mean, unless you want to do the nonprofit way, which is also fine, then I'll be a church, you know?
So hold on a second.
Yeah.
I really want to go make sure that we're talking about the mining operation here. Okay, so
Oh, okay.
the mining operation here is what I'm really working on to navigate with clarity because you know, Lau and I were the original partners and we brought in Marek.
Mhm.
But Lau and I are, I need his technical awareness and he needs my drive. So we are together. And if you guys think that 5149 is the better way of operating in that capacity, then I'm certain that based off of his and I relationship, that he will be totally okay with it. Based off of the level of kind of commitment he sees me take charge of. I'm not really concerned about that. So then
Yeah.
is what you guys are sensing and what I'm hearing is that it would be better for him and I to partner as the official partners in the business. And then this other guy, Marek, who's coming in to help us with the investor profiles, the valuations, he would be basically a partner in the project, but as some sort of a like a, you know, 30% partner or something like that. Sorry?
Contractor by project?
Yeah, that
Or
sounds like a wise solution for some. Yeah.
so then we would have to pay him after the fact versus upfront because
Yeah.
that's kind of like he would be paid based off of project basis.
Oh, then he's a contractor. He's not a
Yeah.
he's not a director of the company.
Mm.
But that's what I'm
Yeah.
saying is so you guys are suggesting that doing it that way or because we were thinking of bringing him in as a partner for this
Okay.
project, you know.
My view is partners are marriage.
Right.
Okay? Unless you are 100%, you know that person, their vision aligned, and you must have that person that have complementary skills to you. Don't do it. Because
Yeah,
when
it's
you
gonna be too
divorce
expensive.
is
So
terrible.
that's what I think is Marek has a lot of beautiful skills and wisdom, and he's very aligned, and so is Lau, and they have a lot of skills and wisdom. And the thing is that uh making sure that, you know, I feel like the best way to do it in what I'm feeling is now based off of what we're talking about is kind of giving that 70-30 approach to the project. And
Mhm.
from that place he can come in as a partner. Um
Yeah.
it just feels better based off of what I'm feeling or hearing now.
Yeah.
Mm.
And
And
are you clear on the skill sets needed for the mining projects?
Yeah. So I mean, we have the EPC firm, we have the project, the engineering, the procurement, management, the grid itself. But the guys are the fund capital managers. So essentially, what's happening is Lau and I are very much focused on the technical side of it. But what he's bringing to the table is really doing a lot of the valuation. He's helping with the numbers, the traditional finance side of things. Uh, and uh, and he's helping with you know, like, because he has his parents own a family office, so he has a lot of contacts in terms of people in the energy, waste gas, so that also helps a lot. So there's a lot of value that everybody is bringing to the table.
Right.
mm,
Oh, by the way, last time you mentioned the Congo, and my trainer, he's from South Africa. So I asked him, "Do you know anything about the Congo?" And he's like, "Why do you want to go? Why do you guys want to go there? It's so dangerous." So just telling you what his reaction was.
Yeah, I mean, I was just on the phone with the lady that owns a lot of stuff in the Congo, like a nonprofit and a school, and
Mm,
because I mean, there's a responsibility. People are dying. That's why we have to go to the Congo, because people are
mm,
dying there, because the infrastructure is not good there, because people deserve those people. Those are the people that need our help, you know, and that's why we need to go to the Congo. Or else, if fucking life was easy, we would just, you know, sit on an island and drink margaritas. But we need to do the things that are hard.
mm,
Um, because if we don't do it, then who's gonna do it?
mm.
You
sailors
know?
need to sail. Somebody needs to go for a fish and bring it back, and for a community, like, doesn't matter the weather, doesn't matter. Somebody has to.
Yeah.
The community is important.
And it's not about me or anyone else. It's about like those, you know, like we have a group chat, you know, I got a picture sent of boots on the ground, bodies of people, bodies, dead bodies,
Wow.
babies,
It's
you know,
corrupt government, right?
and it's terrible. And I like you send these pictures are being sent, and they're very fucking real, and I get to see all of these things of genuine little babies. Like, this is very real shit, and people don't realize it, but they
Mhm.
and I don't choose to turn a blind eye to it. I choose to say, okay, let's figure this out. Who do we need to talk to? How we can focus on, and that's why it's so important to build the infrastructure the right way. Uh, and maybe, you know, maybe it's because I take it so seriously that I should just say, yeah, I am gonna be 51%. And because I choose to step into these types of responsibilities, that yeah, like I'm sorry, but I need to be able to make the final decision.
Mm.
Yeah, rightfully
That
so.
for some reason, bro, I trust your, level of integrity that I would definitely say you have to have a majority. And it's not because, like it's just gonna be not because that somebody else doesn't have integrity. It's more than as if you can make decisions by yourself and move it faster, like because like as you say, you have the awareness that nobody else has, literally. It's the same with me. Like I have an awareness that nobody else has, even what's going on in the world and why. And sometimes it can take too much. Like me and in my preview in the company I was talking about, it we would spend hours and hours and hours just talking, and then we realized that we spend hours and hours just talking, and we never move nobody's steering the ship when we talking about it. It's the same, like, yeah, it's similar somehow to relationships, but it's like I think you like I would vote for you having majority just because of nothing to do with trust or distrust or people showing up or not, but like having the majority of, like, so you can move, so we can move, we can steer the ship.
Yeah, usually the person, steering the ship takes higher percentage, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
But more
Thank you.
importantly is be clear about the roles and expectations, right? Like what do you do? What does he do? What does the third person do? Exactly. Put it on paper.
Can you send me that thing that you have here, that pie chart that you created?
Yeah. Sure.
So then I could use that for our next meeting and really get clear in what that looks like. And I'll have a conversation. I'll say, listen, first I'll have it with Lau, and then I'll have it with the both of them. But Lau, I know that he trusts me so much, like you guys do. So with him, 51-49 won't be a big problem. It'll be like, yeah, of course,
I would even recommend you to suggest to him, maybe he wants to have 51, and then like feel that situation. If he has a 51, how do you feel, how he feels? Exactly.
Okay, I sent it
So
to you. I sent it to you if you received it.
yeah.
it's just like
Yeah.
explain that somebody has to pick 51, or like, or whatever is there the numbers, but for each somebody has to take that role.
Yeah,
And
I
it's
mean,
a
I
role
trust him.
it's a role
I
with
trust him.
responsibility.
I trust him enough that if he wants to take the 51, that he can drive the ship. I trust
Yeah.
him, right?
Well, it's probably
So
more you because you're more the
And I mean,
business.
Eric, you're not gonna show up less if you're gonna have 49%.
no.
Exactly. So it does it that's what I'm saying. Those shares, fundamentally, they matter, like very little. If we're talking about that, there is no separation between business and ourselves, then it's like we don't have to put too much of emphasis on shares. Like I think, like since we shifting the paradigm, since we
Right.
going
So then,
in a new world, in new economy, so it's different. It's everything is different.
but that's what I'm trying to say is, so then what because of these, like, uh that's why I originally was thinking, so this is actually a very beautiful point that you bring up. So then, even if we have 50-50, right? Or even if we have 33-33-33, I know that my energy is influencing the energy based off of whatever, right? So I know that as a result of just the way that I show up, it's going to influence the behavior of people. So is it important to have that majority shareholder decision on paper, or
here's my thought. The 5149 is there for if you're operating a business with the current legal structure, right? Because if you're in an argument and then you go to court, then you have to operate with the existing legal structure, right?
Yeah.
I mean, unless you don't have to, then yeah, that's the issue.
Brother, remember how David, we spoke in a hotel with David, and he brought a very, very cool perspective that shifted the whole paradigm on thinking about contracts or agreements, to not to call them agreements anymore, but call them disagreements, and then it brings different kind of perspective of what we write on the paper. What is important in case of disagreement? What do we do? Who takes the responsibility? Who goes to court? Who goes to, like, because that's what it matters. What do we do when the shit hits the fan?
I think in reality, we do have a trust scoreboard, like virtually, with everybody we deal with, right? As friends, right? Or, but it's in our head, right? So somebody like never shows up or never does what they do, then the scores in your head goes down, right? Somebody who's like steps up and take care of other people, the scores in your head goes up, right? That's the, but that might not be aligned with the legal system, right? So with the Bitcoin standard, is it more closer to what's in our head, right? How we perceive each other.
well, okay, so this is a good thing because Marek was bringing up the other day, like, okay, well, if something, explodes in the operations in the power plant, who's taking responsibility? And we have a managing partner on paper, but so what I'm hearing is that people need somebody to lean on, and so I said I'll be the quarterback. I will be the quarterback. I will take full responsibility of what's going on here around the power plant, with the agreements, with the integrity, whatever needs to happen to make things move, because this is really important. So it sounds like what I'm hearing from everybody is I just need to step up even more.
Yeah. Yeah. If
maybe not even step up, step in. You already stepped up.
If it's dealing with power plants, you have to work with the existing legal structure. Can't, right? Like it's not there yet. To be all distributed and fair and equal. We're not there yet.
Okay, cool. So, enough said. I figured it out. So basically, what I need to do is to have 51% shares of Kingsbull. And that 51% of Kingsbull is actually going to have 56% of the plants. That means that I will be essentially the quarterback for the whole operation, and leading kind of that charge. So that makes all sense to me now. So now I need to just make sure that it's very clear amongst the partners, that I am taking the responsible role, and that they are okay with that.
Yeah. I think like that feels very healthy. And like you can propose, and then whatever happens. Like this is what you come now to conclusion or to suggestion.
Yeah.
have you talked to Pierre, by the way? Eric?
Last week.
Oh, okay. I see. Yeah, he
Yeah.
seems to be like he hasn't replied me yet, so maybe he's busy raising funds.
Yeah, they said they're busy raising funds and they're excited to have you.
Okay. All right. Yeah, because he said he wanted some feedback, but haven't heard from him yet.
Yeah, he really they really need you. That's what he said.
Yeah, well, I'm excited to help them. Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, and actually over here there's a company called Coinos. Have you heard about this?
No.
I can show you. He's one of the persons who organizes all these events and community over here. But his product is more it's a lightning wallet. Yeah. Which means they hold custody, right? Like instead of you have the 12 words. They also do some the retail help the local stores adopt Bitcoin so that people don't have to set up a wallet, like they can easily receive money. And yeah, I was just showing so they have a map. This is in Vancouver, all the places that you can spend Bitcoin or pay with Bitcoin already. Yeah, all these local stores and coffee shops, right? Barber shop. Yeah. So yeah, I'm more tapped
That's
into
amazing.
the local community here and see how things go.
I'm meeting with the CEO of Kids Play, Cal something. He's some of the youth that are coming from Portland are gonna present some stuff at the art at a gala event there and stuff like this. Maybe it would be valuable for you to go to that gala event and go there with the youth, Elaine, because
Where's it there? Portland?
it's at the end of May in Vancouver.
Oh, okay.
And it would be really valuable, I think, because it's to do with youth, it's to do with the next generation. And I imagine there'll be a great way to like meet the right people to integrate a responsible role of how we can build the infrastructure within these kind of influential people.
So wait, Kids Play? What kind of event is it?
So it's a fundraiser. It's a gala event fundraiser.
Oh, okay. Gala event. Okay. To raise funds for the kids.
Yeah, so if you just
Yeah, if you can send me the link and
if you Google CEO Kids Play Cal.
How is in Moo? Cal? Moo?
Cal, Kal.
Okay. Kids Play Cal. Oh, this guy? This one?
Yeah.
This one? Remember?
Yeah.
Oh, Cal is his name.
Yeah.
This guy? Oh,
Yeah.
okay. How old are the kids targeting?
I mean, I don't really know.
You know what? This is so crazy. Oh my Okay, I'm working on an AI project that is about soccer and training people in soccer. Yeah. And we probably need to interview um people in that area too.
Amazing. And we can bring up ways that we can integrate, I'm certain. I mean, these are just the foundation, right? So on the business side, we can do a lot of other things, but he's very much involved with like the police
Oh.
on in Vancouver and in Calgary, the police force. So it's a great way to integrate a lot of the law enforcement type of things.
Mm-hmm.
Um, to help them discover ways that we can encourage the transformation of law and how that can be integrated into. Is that it? That is it. That's the one.
Isn't it right? Is
Yeah.
he, I mean, what's his perspective on Bitcoin?
I haven't talked to him about Bitcoin yet. I'm interviewing him
Oh,
next week.
oh, okay.
But
Right.
he's a friend of a very deep friend.
Okay.
Um, he's a friend of a very deep friend, so we'll be able to go deeper in a meaningful way.
Hmm. Okay.
But this is where I'll be able to challenge, a man, that has done really cool things and also
Hmm.
encourage him to see things from a different perspective. But yeah, I think it's a great way to help.
I see. So when they say youth, is it teenagers or 20 years old? You know,
Mm,
about youth, what's really interesting is so yesterday I had dinner with a bunch of people and it was a birthday of this kid. He's like 19. He's not even in university, but he thinks like he's in his 50s. It's like like he hangs out with people like way older than him for some reason. And I asked him like, why do you do this? Like, and he says he feels that in his lifetime there's gonna be some big financial crisis that he feels he has to step up and learn business early, which is
mhm,
really amazing. Like he doesn't talk like a 19-year-old. Like,
mhm.
yeah. Um, what are you guys' perspective on what's coming in terms of the economy?
For me,
How far are we in shifting over? Or
so
I
for
mean, I
me,
think it's good and bad news, right? For people who
sorry?
don't, it's good and bad news, right? Because for people who are not aware of Bitcoin or not convinced yet or not there yet, like they could be in shambles.
I think that
And how far are we from there, you think?
I think people are gonna choose to live in an illusion even if it goes into shambles. So whether they believe it or not, they're going to decide to follow what the Federal Reserve or what the US government or what XRP or what Ethereum or what some other bullshit perspective is trying to influence them. And they're going to choose to believe what they want because they don't know themselves. When
Mm.
people are talking to me and they're like, "Oh, but it makes good money." I'm like, "Okay, yeah, but at what fucking cost? At what cost? Where is the integrity of you're talking about making money, but what does that mean? Does that mean that people are being supported? Is there a win-win? Where's the value here that really makes sense? And is it in benefit of something greater? Or are you just in benefit of your own pocket? And I think that that's the thing is that a lot of people are missing, not a lot, many people are missing uh, because they are not aware of the fallacies that money is representing.
Yeah.
And furthermore, they don't have the knowledge of their own wealth, so they allow the money or somebody's facade of their financial pocket dictate their behaviors and manipulate their truth.
Mm-hmm.
And for me, this is something that if you can be manipulated by something so easy that can be printed by a US dollar and a government, then you really don't know who the fuck you are.
Mm.
And so it's easy to influence you. It's easy to take you out of your center because you are not in a space of true knowing in yourself. So those people that are easily manipulated by something that is inflated and losing its value, that they don't know how actually devalued it has become, they are going to be moving with the wind like a kite without a string.
Yeah. It's not going to end well, right? I mean,
Well, it's not going to end well if we don't start building or continuously building, because we already are building, but continuously developing the new infrastructure and really emphasizing, what we are doing as a global community, because it's not just us. Like, there is millions of us around the world, that are talking about Bitcoin, that are discovering Bitcoin, that are building around the infrastructure of Bitcoin. And so it's our duty to continue to build that with kind of without needing to force it. Because when people discover the fact that, okay, it's not going to end well or something is going awry, they'll be like, oh my God, but look at those people over there. They're sustaining, they're happy, they're joyful, they're living their life. There's no fear there. Maybe we should go listen at this point.
yeah.
Yeah, like I feel, Elaine, that you are asking if the world is gonna hit whatever, it's gonna go bunkers.
Hit the fan.
I mean, it's what I see. It's already bunkers, and as Eric's pointing out, it's a lot of people already in fear. And then when people are in fear, they are paralyzed, literally. And therefore, what is important is like how we gonna prepare. Because what I see, the Bitcoin is gonna catch the falling world, which has never been before. We never had a catcher. The civilization was upcoming and evolving until it collapses, and it collapsed because there was no ground for anyone. Like, it's just like that was a pattern of evolution, which is not gonna be the same as it used to be in all the history. Like, the history did not had a Bitcoin as a global net, safety net. So now the world is fucked up already as it is. It doesn't have to go even more worse. I think it will, but I think also that we are preparing to catch the falling world. That's what we do here. So I think
What's interesting, as I talk to people, for those who are not convinced yet, I try to listen to them on why they're not convinced. And it's just like really interesting. Like, there are all these different worldviews. Yesterday a friend said he's not convinced that Bitcoin is the solution because there's only 21 million. And the economy cannot expand if it's restricted to 21 million. So I'm like, okay, interesting. Yeah.
Yeah, you know that game when they go to dates and then there is this called next. So I think we just have to, like, if people are coming with denial kind of approach and super deep skepticism, they are good. It's perfect. That's what we want to have for everyone. We don't want to eliminate that, but it's like it's just a sign that they need to do their homework, and then we can choose, like, either be a part if the person is really worth investing time and trying to challenge those limitations what comes from mind. But otherwise there is like almost pointless to try to break someone patterns who is like such in strong denial. The only thing that's going to do that is time. And it's go.
I think, okay, we're now in May, right? So we know in the next year it's probably going to go to 100K, right? And I know, based on past history, whenever it goes like that parabolic banana, everybody's gonna come ask us. Like, when it goes down, people like disappear, right? Like when it goes up, then everybody's gonna come to ask us, like, oh, how do I get in? Like, why? Oh, I remember you told me about this. Like, yeah. So maybe we are preparing for that.
Yeah. And I think what is more important is to maintain the network of peer-to-peer network, rather, than the price will go like no matter what. Bitcoin doesn't care if somebody doesn't trust Bitcoin. Bitcoin doesn't give a fuck about anything. It's just gonna do its thing.
Yeah.
But what I think we need to be, to put energy into keeping like cultural development. That's what we do here, I feel, with these calls. It's a cultural development. It's like bringing true, authentic bond. It doesn't matter. We trespassing time, we trespassing distance. Like now we are Bitcoin. But Bitcoin without us is not even like we don't even need it. Like it's like, so we are the walking examples, and we travel in time literally, like, to see what's gonna happen. When we ask these questions, like, okay, the world is being falling down. How did we go? How are we gonna get through it? Like, how do we gonna? And then, like, of course, it's very important to keep on eyes on verifying, who we attract in our circles, because it's like I literally rejected one friend from my circle just because I saw it's coming closer to, like, I didn't wanted him to come to Bitcoin event. He's just not fucking ready yet. And I cannot bring people like this in the circle. And I'm not saying you can't. Like, I just, like, it just cannot go through my node. That's it.
Yeah. How much do you guys know about El Salvador? Have you been there before?
No, I have not.
No? Okay. Because I was listening to a YouTube from Max Kaiser. I think he is advising the president there, and he thinks that El Salvador is going to be the most wealthy country in the world because they're Bitcoin nation, right?
I see that. And you know what scenario I see? That America will go fucking bunkers, and El Salvador is gonna be the one who's gonna support. Maybe we already talked about it, but I see that potential. Like, El Salvador will help, falling countries to stand up. That's how I see.
Yeah.
Yeah. What else will Salvador do with all the power and knowledge and awareness? Like, of course, it's like, what's the world if only one country is standing? So it's gonna pull other countries up.
Yeah.
So I see. That's what the fucking Bitcoin. That's what the Bitcoiner does. Pulls everyone around.
Do they have a Bitcoin conference over there, El Salvador?
We have many, I guess. Many. So this is my time. I arrived to airport. I need to go.
Big love, brother. Take care.
Have a
Give my
good
love to
time
Sarah.
with your wife.
Yes, thank you.
All right.
Much love to both of you. Thank you for this beautiful time. 1.5 hours flew like this.
Yeah, I know.
Very cool. Good.
Okay.
Ciao.
Good.
Enjoy your weekend. Bye.
Ciao.
Bye-bye.
Ciao. Elaine. Oh.